This is Ecommerce Exchange by VirVentures, where the biggest shifts in e-commerce are broken down by the people building them. Real conversations, real operators, real strategies shaping what comes next. And in our very first exchange, we are diving into the force rewriting e-commerce faster than anything else right now. Artificial intelligence. From customer retention to paid media, from workflows to decision-making, AI is no longer optional. It is the competitive gap between brands that move and brands that get left behind. This is AI in e-commerce.
Hey everyone, welcome to our very first episode of the VirVentures podcast. I'm Jeremy Lukas, and if you're a D2C founder like myself, an e-commerce operator, or just someone trying to figure out where AI actually fits into your business, you are at the right spot today. And here's why we're doing it. Over the last few months, in the LinkedIn feeds, every founder group, Slack channel, Reddit, Discord, LinkedIn, did I say LinkedIn? Everyone is talking. Few people are showing receipts though, and it's time to collect those receipts. So we flipped the script. We went on LinkedIn. We asked D2C founders like yourselves to send us your real, unfiltered questions about AI and commerce. And we're promising here today that we're going to answer them publicly, honestly, and with actual operator content, which is very much the key here. So we got a strong response, and we had to whittle it down just to a few 8 questions that are kind of the common questions out in the business place. And today, we're going to walk through every single one of them with you, with someone who's not just talking about AI. He's using it, he's talking it, he's deploying it, he's got workflows, he's got it integrated into P&Ls every single day. My guest today is Shivendra Pratap Singh. Shiv is the Chief People Officer at Ergode, the parent company behind VirVentures. And over the last decade plus, he's been hands-on on applying AI across e-commerce operations, marketing, team flows, and decision-making. Shiv, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jeremy, thanks for having me here today. I'm grateful, to be honest. And hello to all the audience of yours. I am excited and charged up to talk more about it.
That's awesome. Now, Shiv, before we dive into these questions, which there's a great 8 questions burning there waiting for us, for anyone listening today who doesn't know you yet, give us like a little quick 30-second insight to what's going on your side of the woods.
Sure. That's great thing to start with. So, my name is Shivendra Pratap Singh. You can refer me easily as Shiv to avoid tongue twisters. So, yep, I have been into the industry since last 15 plus years. Now it's been almost 16 years. And I have been working in e-commerce for last 11 years. And AI is definitely one of the technologies, revolutionary technologies that we have come across, and I've been practicing it from day one since it got launched, and it has helped me. While I have come across different implementations, different processes wherein I have integrated AI, I and my team, to make it precise. I have been part of e-commerce setup. We are actively experimenting with AI. So I'll keep it very practical, what works and what doesn't. Of course, we are going to discuss a lot of tools, a lot of hands-on ways how to implement it that you can just go ahead, go back and try it with the business that you are running today. That's what would be my effort, and that's what is something that I'm aiming at with Jeremy. Thank you.
That's a great point of view. That's a great frame as we kind of jump into this together. Maybe before we jump into those 8 burning questions, let's warm up a little bit to kind of get the juices flowing. And maybe if you had to start with a warm-up question, describe the state of AI in D2C commerce in one sentence. Not a pitch, not a forecast, but maybe just in layman's terms. Just where are we actually right now? What would you want to say to that?
I think you know what we there is a lot of hype in AI, in no matter which industry we talk about, and that's exactly what we want to break. Uh, that people definitely feel afraid of new technology that they are not aware of, and specifically, it happens with anything that we are not aware of. We do not want to run the risk of going wrong with it, right? And that's where I think it needs to be simplified a lot more than it is, and that's what we are going to try and to do today. And one thing that I would want everybody who is trying or still thinking about integrating AI in their business, which is very important, is consider AI as one of the tools and not your business itself, because it is going to help you escalate and escalate your growth, and definitely create a scope for it to run much faster with much more efficiency. So consider it as one of the tools, not your business itself. And we are going to talk about how exactly this tool is going to help you run your business much faster and much more efficient. That's exactly what we are going to aim at today.
So if my business is a race car, I want it to have clean fuel, clean oil, and a clean driving plan. And that's what AI is. We got the clean data, got the clean processes, which allows us to get to our clean decisions or destination. I think that's a great starting point in this race today. So let's jump into that first question and get right into it. So question number one, here we go. Came in from a founder who runs a skincare brand. Honestly, it's one that, myself, I think we've all kind of had this question in our mind at some point in time. And she asked, what parts of running a D2C brand still needs that real human judgment touch points, even after bringing all these awesome AI tools? So I think there's a fear out there. There's a fear that if you don't automate everything, you're going to fall behind and get left behind. So, Shiv, where does that line actually sit?
That's great question. Whoever has put it across, very thoughtful question, I must say. So I would say let's look at it this way. AI is great at patterns. Humans are still going to be that another humans who are buyers going to trust and be ready to experiment with. Now, for example, uh, let's say if we talk about any brand, and every brand is supposed to have its own voice, right? So brand voice, AI can go ahead and write about it. Okay, fair enough, this is what it is. But eventually human is going to be the one deciding what goes out and what exactly kind of taste that they want their customers to have about this particular brand. And for example, the other place that I must say is going to be escalations, right? And nobody is going to escalate AI's unsatisfaction with AI to another AI. Human is going to be required. And recently, I'll tell you, recently I ordered something from somewhere, and what happened that I was not happy with the product that I got, and I started chatting with the bot, and it just continues to give me all those AI answers, and I got literally frustrated at the moment that, hey, is there any human? And then and then unfortunately possibly it took 15 to 20 minutes for them to give me a human to talk to. And that day I decided, okay, this particular website definitely does not have the right services post sales, and that's why I'm going to avoid buying from this product. So humans are going to be important. That's one example that I shared with you. And then another one is strategic bets, right? AI would definitely analyze and inform the decision maker, but the decision maker are, for in our case, we're talking about D2C founders or the PNL owners are the ones who have to decide based on the information that AI has given, that what's the strategy that's going to work for you next, and that your customers are going to like and love the experience that you want them to have. And one example, I'm so sorry, Jeremy, I think I can give one more example. So we tested AI product copy, technically perfect, but it missed the cultural moment, and that's where we had at least 20% of it to be edited, reviewed, and then finalized by a human that was in place. So that was just one example. And the tool I would say that generally people use for it is all these LLMs, large language models like ChatGPT, Claude, for drafting. And I mean, this is what we used, and human is the one who took the final decision in our case on this one.
No, I think that's very important. Again, a great tool, give you the roadmap, the blueprint. It can give you process and automation. It can give you the structure. But there are times, and I see this myself as one of my brands called Dad Perfect. I can't have an AI dad it's got to be actually the dad in there implying the learnings, implying the message, implying everything that was kind of structured and taken into place. And so I think that's very fascinating, the pattern recognition versus context. And context is key in a lot of the relations that we're dealing with out in the D2C e-commerce world, just like, with escalations or opportunities or trying to showcase a brand in a UGC organic manner, that is where I think some of that comes into play. Is there anything else here you want to lean into from like a team side that may, cause them to get caught up in that gate of, being solely AI, or have we kind of addressed it?
Sure. I think one more thing that I would like to add for all the founders and D2C professionals that are the audience today, majority of them, is while we understand the humans are going to be required, at least 20% of the portion is going to be done by the humans for the tasks to be completed. At the same time, let's understand that 70 to 80% work has to be done by AI, and this is what all of us need to aim at. So I would strongly recommend for all those who are still thinking to integrate AI in their business, is that if you are still thinking, we are late about it. We got to go ahead and start using it. So there's this one line: let's not live in denial that possibly we'll do it later, a year later, 2 years later. I mean, businesses are, for example, Chegg is one of the greatest example that is almost out of the business for this, because they did not pivot at the right time. So that's just one thing that I wanted to say, that let's not live in denial. Let's just dive in, and things would definitely happen the more we experiment.
No, I think that's a great reminder. Timing, usage, and how we leverage something within is definitely key. But by still having a personalized touch, that's still present within the brand. All right, Shiv. So we've got one question down. Now we're gonna head into question number two, and this is one that I love because I do think it's one that we all kind of deal with. As whether it's a pain point or something that it's one of those opportunities that you can always kind of put out there, but we can maybe never ideate. But the question is, how can AI help drive repeat purchases and build that real customer brand loyalty, not just that first time conversions? Because, and what's the old saying? The best customer is your current customer or your brand customer, right? And so, how do we leverage the AI hype to get that moving down in that funnel? Because sometimes we see that customer coming to that first order and they disappear, right? So how do we get them back and staying with this long term?
Uh, I must say that the audience is definitely smart enough to ask all these thoughtful questions, and this is definitely the another great one in the queue. So I would say, excuse me, I would say in terms of repeat purchases and loyalty, AI is definitely there to help. But then over dependence is also something that we need to avoid in this case. For example, I would say this: that if we only use AI for acquisition, uh, our CAC is going to get worse. And for those who are listening this word first time, CAC, customer acquisition cost, and how exactly we are going to fix it, or how AI can be used. For example, predict churn. Now, when we want to predict churn as to how many repeat purchases are happening, definitely we want AI to intervene early. At the same time, the uh, for example, I would say the emailers or all these communications that we try to do with our potential customers who might want to come back for repurchases, we need to make sure that we are personalizing as much as possible for all these repeat customers, which is going to make them believe that definitely the brand owners or whoever is running the brand is definitely uh, almost understanding entire activity that I'm doing on their website and what kind of products that I'm liking. And when that happens, the personalized emails hit your inbox, and that's where the customer start thinking about, okay, fair enough, they know a lot about me, or a lot about my choices, and that's the reason I think this right brand that I want to go ahead and talk to, and go ahead and get my products from. So the AI will help us predict churn, and then we have smart timing is going to be very important. If email cycles means the bulk emails or whatever kind of emails that you are sending to the consumers or customers, if the timing of it is not right, then also we run the risk of losing the customers, and we do not want to do that. Personalization, hyper personalization with AI now, hyper personalization is into the picture, which is going to literally make sure that the buyer feels that, okay, fair enough, they know a lot about me and my choices, and definitely this is the right time for me to go ahead and repeat the purchases from them because of their services and all that. I would say the tools that can be used on this one is Klaviyo. Klaviyo is one tool. I'm giving it for the audience to get it handy and use it. So Klaviyo will help fix the flows and get the AI segmentation integrated. Shopify, if you're using Shopify, Shopify also offers a lot of AI tools, and plus other third-party apps for the purchase behavior is something that you want to track. So I'll give you an example. Instead of blasting 30-day emails, what we did, we adjusted timing per customer behavior. That when they're coming to our website and what kind of products they're kind of browsing, and that's where we started triggering that particular email personalized to their kind of wishes that we could guess, or we could predict based on their activity on our website. So I would say retention is where AI actually can help print money for all the founders and professionals that are running D2C for sure.
You hear that, guys? Shiv said print money. So I want to I want to dive into that a little bit more. I want to challenge you just a little bit, maybe for some of the 2 to 5 million operators are out there that don't have a massive data team, but they are trying to use personalized email. I know you kind of talked about it a little bit, but you know what's different now? And I think you did mention some of the timing, the messaging, some of the integration, but maybe just showcase just a little bit more for some of the true on like bootstrappers out there who are really trying to do this themselves. How do they overcome not having that massive CDP data team?
I understand, and I would say that specifically for bootstrappers, we need to understand that who are our consumers or customers for sure, and start using AI early as much as possible, because gone are the days wherein you need to go ahead and hire somebody to predict the behavior of your consumers or customers. Now the tools are available that can help you analyze all the data, when what is the timing of the customers, from which geography they're visiting, what are the products that they are running. In fact, I'll tell you that there are a couple of brands, I would possibly not name them, but they are like being run by uh, two people company. That's how they're doing it. Specifically by deploying AI agents, majority of the workflows are getting fixed for them to get the repeat purchases. And they have only possibly 5 SKUs, if I'm not wrong, and I remember it correctly. They have only 5 SKUs. And what they're doing is they're making sure that they're reaching out all those potential customers by predicting their behaviors with the help of AI, and then eventually getting them to buy the products that they want to sell is something that helps them. So please do not worry. And gone are the days when you have to think about, you don't have funds, capital to hire more people to churn a lot of data and this database of the emails. Now things have completely changed. There are many ways that you can definitely acquire potential customers database out there, but more than just having access to the potential customers database, it's about how you are utilizing them efficiently with the help of AI is something that's going to matter for sure. So that's what I would say to that, Jeremy. I hope that helps, and I would love to hear your thoughts as well on this, if you want to add anything. I know you've been there, done that for sure.
No, I think you mentioned it, getting into it now. I think leveraging it where possible, where like you mentioned with the different types of roles that an AI process or an agent can fill. Especially in a small a small startup or in a lean organization. I was just thinking while we were sitting here, because you said AI, you can throw an AI, agent in place pretty quickly at a low cost. and get some great results to then take back and put in. I remember pre-AI times, and we had some data scientists, providers. AOs, and then I'm not trying to say anything other than this, how it was at that time. And not like I mentioned the brand that what we were with, but costly, the timing to gather all the data and to then, to then implement took months, right? And here you're telling us that we can do this on an affordable budget within a lean model and get some great implementations that are going to then affect bottom line positively. Am I hearing that right?
That's completely all right. You said it absolutely right. There can never be a better conclusion to that, for sure.
All right. All right. Well, I think that's a win there for number two. So we're going to move on to question number three, and let's jump into this one. So the next one is one that I wish more founders ask themselves, just to be, looking in the mirror honestly. The question is, how do I know if my business is even are we ready for AI? Should I just get on my foundations and my basics out of the way first? Data, creatives, branding, my funnels. You alluded to this a little bit earlier, but maybe you can kind of expand on, where does it fit? When's the right time? Which I think we kind of spoke on a little bit just now. And when should I just jump in?
Great. That's actually a great question. So I would say, number one, that we need to understand as founders or D2C professionals, that AI or any kind of business, not only just about D2C, AI does not fix bad businesses. In fact, it exposes them faster. So what
Hmm.
do we do is more than most of the times I see that we think that AI is going to work like a magician and fix everything about the business. But we have to remember that AI will only expedite a lot of things and make them much more efficient what you already have. So eh, now, for example, uh, you need to have your own clean data with you for AI to analyze it and process it faster. Your working funnel has to be in place already. Uh, you should have enough creative ideas as to what exactly you want AI to execute and brainstorm with, for you to eventually decide, okay, these are the next steps that I want to go ahead and do it. So the question is, are you ready for AI? I would say there's been never a better time for you to get ready for AI if you don't think you are not. Uh, this is exactly the time wherein you got to go ahead and start thinking from the perspective. So the order would go like this. Number one, we have to think about that, okay, these are my workflows. And now I want to make sure that for this particular workflow, if there is A, B, C, three workflows that are there in certain process or function, for fixing or expediting or making it super speedy, what is the relevant AI tool that I can get for workflow A, and then similarly for B and C. Most of the times what happens is that we are not focused, and we have not reviewed our workflows internally. We just simply get a tool and we think this AI tool is going to fix everything, and then that's where we feel kind of really irritated that, okay, why the AI tool is not working, AI tool is not good enough. The point is, there has to be something in place for AI to work with, which is going to be our responsibility to make sure our workflows are in place. Now, the tools that I would say, for example, in terms of your data, whatever kind of data that you have, Google Analytics is something that you can use. Shopify dashboard is something which is very, very powerful for D2C owners and professionals. And now, before you get AI, for example, you need to have a basic customer relation management tool, CRMs, in place for AI to make it even better. So
Sure.
I would say fix your basics, and then AI becomes a multiplier for it. That's what I would say on this one.
I was thinking back to while we were sitting here, and we're kind of in this like renaissance slash, gold mining, go heading to the west to go the mine for gold kind of type of things that relates to the opportunity that AI is giving business operators in the forefront today, right? And I think back to like the late '90s into the Y2K when website and domains were coming into play, right? And I'm just thinking about that because there was times where like it was kind of scoffed or kind of like maybe there's a little hesitation. This is true. This is true story case study. Like literally during the pandemic COVID when like operations shut down from a brick and mortar perspective, I can remember working with a lot of clients and different businesses just to try to get them into a website with some basic D2C commerce and API and things like that. And now we're talking about adding AI to maybe some operators and things that operate at maybe a different pace, right? And so not everyone's pace to play is all the same, is what I'm trying to get at. And I think it kind of just goes back to the question: is like we're not ready is maybe sometimes the flags that come up. We're not ready. We're not ready. I can't even. I just got a website like 3 years ago. I'm trying to figure that out. So what's maybe that order of operations to get their ducks lined up in a row before they touch that AI?
Very true. I second that, Jeremy. And you said it well. It's like there's never the right time, as they say, right? You have to just get going with it.
All right. Well, I think it's a tool that's here, just like the domain, just like the store, just like there's this all these this advancement. You can see the evolution of how things are going, right? And so I think the key takeaway is, as you mentioned, for that question and for that particular um, business operator who submitted, don't make it too complicated. Figure out your basics. Again, like you said, data, having your data set, your CRM. Sometimes that's just a spreadsheet that you can upload in there. It
Yeah,
may not even have, you may not even have, Google Analytics or Shopify that you can apply here, but have a data set that you have as a base and then work from there.
true. Absolutely, I
Yeah.
agree.
All right. So this next question, all right, it's got a little bit of tension in it, a little tense here. So it's kind of walk into this a little bit. All right. Is AI actually helping brands rely less on paid ads, or does it just make paid marketing more competitive and more expensive? Because honestly, both things kind of feel true right now. So just to back up and rephrase, is AI helping brands rely less on paid ads, or is it making paid marketing more expensive and more competitive? Because now you're flooding the marketplace.
That's actually very interesting questions, I must say. So this question definitely take us to advantages and how exactly it's helping us make more business out of AI. So I would say AI is making ads more expensive and marketing smarter. That's what is the bottom line, I feel. Now everyone has same tools, and which means cost per meal is increasing, right? And then advantages are definitely, the speed of creatives that we can create is definitely high. Now everybody is creating their own advertisement channels, and all these social commerce and everywhere. That's what they're trying to do now. I would say when it comes to AI versus paid ads, I mean, each of these two definitely have their own importance. For example, uh, on TikTok or Instagram or all these social media handles or platforms, you see that a lot of influencers are using AI to create videos, and they're earning millions of followers, and then eventually earning these collaborations from the brands to go ahead and do the marketing. Now, AI definitely helped the influencer to get a lot of followers. At the same time, the brand has to pay for that AI that the influencer has been using, and then eventually they're going to cost bomb about it. So I would say, all the founders and all these D2C professionals that are there in the era of AI, uh, we got to go ahead and start using the tools as much as possible that are available at the very low cost and very economical value that's available. So for example, you possibly almost are getting into an era wherein you would not need designer for designs or creatives for you, particularly a full-time designer. I mean, there's a tool called Mid Journey, which I'm sure many of us know about. Mid Journey is so very good at visuals creation. You can definitely be amazed about it. There's a tool I would want to possibly share is Brand Grid, and Brand Grid is very good tool that's available, and we have also been trying it. And it's a bunch of young people who created it, and that's helping brands design and create the creatives for the particular brand. So what it does is that you one thing that you need to do is go ahead and input your website, I mean URL, brand URL, your website, and then it does all the kind of research and analysis about your brand. And then it starts creating, starting from your brand book, brand voice, brand design, and then start creating the content for your social media channels. And it also offers the provisions wherein you can just simply one click, and all the posts, respective dedicated posts will go live on your social media handles. So this Brand Grid is one very powerful tool that I would recommend for people to go ahead and at least give it a try. That's available in the market. And then talking about Mid Journey, and then shifting to Canva. So you can definitely create visuals from Mid Journey. You can create it from Canva, but Canva is best in terms of editing all those images or creatives, videos that you created from Mid Journey. And of course your Meta Ads Manager is definitely there for helping you in terms of managing your ads, wherein as much as possible, you I mean definitely keep a tab on ROI. And if you don't see ROI during whatever course of days that you want to decide is reasonable, you got to go ahead and do something about it. So today, if you tested less than 5 creatives last week, your problem is not the budget. Your problem is going to be the tools that you are not using, and you got to start using it. That's what I would say. So I would say out create, uh, don't outspeed is what I would say about this one.
No, I think you hit it right on. And it's a pay to play. It's a pay to play game right now, right? And I think, but there are some caveats on each side of that fence that we can extract, take away. I think you mentioned three great tools that any brand operator can take and implement immediately, to leverage into that. Two, let's not lose your brand voice. Let's not lose your what makes you unique. Getting that UGC, it's still out there. I think in a place where volume is occurring, make sure that the quality of what you're putting out is still resonating with your audience and your niche, right? Because some of those are just chasing, impressions or numbers on that side, but they're not always converting at the same rate that you would see because they haven't maybe refined their message or that content specifically to their targeted audience. So I think that's another thing as well. And I find that myself is like, especially of recent, is like, is my content, am I trying to go out and chase, or am I trying to cultivate and create something that's going to be, long term? And I think, yeah, you are gonna have to pay at times, pay for your tools, right? Pay for your tools. If you pay with your time, make it meaningful. If you're gonna put your final stamp on that, make sure that it's gonna apply back to your brand and not just speak for today, but speak for tomorrow. And then yeah, then go out and push out and be consistent, in your creative.
That's absolutely right. I second that. Absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna move on to our next question, and probably this, I'm not sure if this is my favorite, but it could be because I do have another question in mind. But founders are busy, right? We're all busy. They don't want theory. Well, they want results, right? Yeah, theories are for scientists and people in labs. We want results that we can tangibly touch, feel, and see today. So maybe give us one easy AI workflow that we could set up this month that actually save me some time or move some sales, right? Because time is money. What's something that kind of comes to mind there?
Great. And this is my personal favorite, I would say, because eventually workflows are the ones that are going to be much more efficient with AI. So let me give you one one thing to start with. So, for example, let's start with our customer reviews that are there, and uh, believe it that customer reviews, it's the highest ROI data you already have. I mean, you got to trust that it's the highest ROI data you already have in place. Now, how do we set workflow around this? Pull reviews from Amazon, Shopify, wherever platforms that are available for your particular brand. Paste it in any of the LLMs that are your favorite. It could be ChatGPT, it could be Claude, it could be Grok, it could be Gemini, whatever you want to use it. Go ahead and ask that LLM to cluster complaints and praises for your brand. And when it does it, you got to use output for three things majorly: product fixes, number two, ad copies, number three, your landing pages. So these are the three ones that can help you immediately fix a major portion of uh, how you're improving the customer's experience. That's already available. So, and no fancy tools are required for this. Any of the LLM you take, ChatGPT, Claude, for example, and Google Sheets, of course, wherein you pull all that customer reviews out there. And then you can also, what you can do is you can use possibly just to automate this entire workflow, you can use Cowork, Claude Cowork, or you can use Zapier, that's there, N8N, that's there, for automating workflows. This definitely going to help you to automate this entire workflow. Now, one bottom line that I would say for this is customers have already told us on all these platforms what to fix. Now we just give that data for AI to organize it in a certain function and certain way for us to start fixing the things that our customers want us to fix. So, yep.
Oh, I thought you just pressed the mute button. Don't listen to those guys. No, no. We got when you work through the pains, you get to the gains, right? And I think as I think the easy takeaway here is like pay attention to what your customers are saying and doing, right? Continue to, if, for all the glows out there, for all the praise, what you want to continue, it's going to be all the pains, right? That's just how it is in the real world. Nobody is perfect, right? So how do you take and identify those pains and leveraging, like you said, some of the tools and stacks in place to then bring that up, identify the leaks, the product opportunities, or the customer win backs, right? I think those are key there. And so, kind of going back to what you said, and you kind of mentioned it here, but back in question two, which was the post-purchase engine, what tools, maybe if just refresh us here, what tools would you actually use? But do you have maybe a winning simple stack that you could put in play?
Yeah, so I think question number two specifically, if I remember, that was about basically repeat purchases and loyalty ones. I remember,
Yep.
and
Yep.
the tools that we talked about, one was Clavio, that helps you fix flows and utilize the AI segmentation is something that's what I feel. And Shopify is definitely now playing very big in terms of AI. And then definitely there are third party apps that are available for you to just identify the purchase behavior from the consumers or customers that are available. So these are the tools that I would recommend for us to use. Sure.
No, I think those are great recommendations. Those are one of probably commonplace for most operators out there that they could get their hands on and leverage pretty quick and find learnings and the opportunities to implement. So, all right, moving on to our next founder question. And this is probably one that gets asked pretty regularly. But I'm not sure if I have ever have the perfect answer, but maybe you do. How does a founder separate the AI tools that are actually useful, maybe from the ones that are maybe trending or getting all the hype, right? So what's the ones that are actually beneficial, and how do we caution ourselves of the new hype ones?
I think that's one major dilemma that every founder goes through, or a professional that are trying to use AI go through. So uh, uh, now, so this is basically about tools versus hype. So I would say most of the professionals and founders don't have a tool problem. It's the workflow problem. Now, why do I say workflow problem? Is like I mentioned in earlier answers to the questions, some of the questions earlier. It's so unless you have your own workflow that's in place, no matter what tools that you're going to bring, it's not gonna get you the results that you want, because we need to be very sure, very clear as to what exactly are we trying to fix, which are the workflows that we are trying to make much more efficient than what it is right now, and then accordingly go out in the market, or just search it on the internet, that which are the tools available for me to fix this. I mean, we can ask LLM for telling us, okay, this is my workflow, and this is the problem that I'm facing, and this is what I want exactly you to help me with. What are the tools that are available in the market? So I would give three major filters for you to decide which tools are available. I mean, there are many tools available for doing one thing, right? So I would say three
Sure.
major filters, uh, no matter which tool you're thinking to go about. Number one, ask yourself whether or not it is replacing an existing task which is being done manually. That's number one. So that's number one filter. Another one is ROI in 30 days. Wait for 30 days.
Mm,
If it's giving you the ROI, that's great. Boom, you got it. You just hit the jackpot. And if it's not giving you the ROI in 30 days, go ahead. Just change it. Do something about it. And the another thing is ease of plugging it in, right, in your business. If it is too complicated for you to plug it in your business or workflows, then it's not worth it. Believe me, any AI that is taking time for you to integrate it with your workflows is definitely not the ones that you want to start, specifically if you're not a technology guy. For example, I would give you this one. I mean, OpenClaw, when it was launched, OpenClaw is
mhm.
still being used heavily by many people, and I also use OpenClaw. But the point is, the way it is made, its UI, you might feel like you are actually in your in that movie of Matrix, right? That, okay, fair enough, these are the things, and I'm getting confused. Okay, what needs to be done? What are the prompts that I need to give? So that's one thing. And and then there are tools available which are helping us do the similar thing, like Claude Co-work, that's there, and Perplexity Computer, that's there, that's helping us do it. So these are three filters I would repeat. Number one is it replaces your existing task, and
Sure.
it gives you the ROI in 30 days, and it is easy to plug in. These are three filters, no matter what tools you want. Now, tools, I think I can recommend confidently, are definitely Chat GPT and Claude. uh, these are the best models available. Claude is better in many ways. And then Mid Journey for creatives, that's there. And then Canva is there for execution, and then Clavio is there for retention. That's going to be one of the very important tool for you to use as D2C owners. And Brand Grid is another one that I would say is definitely go ahead and must try about it. You will definitely like all these tools when you start using it. And the bottom line that I would say, eventually, it does not, if any tool, if any tool that you're bringing, if it does not save time or make money in 30 days, go ahead and skip it. That's all.
I mean, that's the bottom line, right? I mean, and I'm not going to jump. Try not to jump to my next question here, because I want to stick here for a second. But that, time is money, ease of use is money, and if it's going to take, if you're going to take more than 30 days to see ROI, like you said, in a small D2C biz, I think, like you said, move on to something else. And we don't have 6 months to integrate. We need 6 days, So yeah, it's got to be simple, easy, and it's got to, like you said, like you started, it's got to be able to, replace or enhance something that you're already doing, right? So, first off, The Matrix is an awesome movie, and that deserves all the hype. But is there a category of tools that you're kind of seeing out there that are being overhyped right now?
I think I would say a couple of tools. Number one is like this autonomous agents, right? I would
Mhm.
say there's still no tool that is there's no agent as such that can definitely completely 100% take independent decisions without human being involved. uh, let me give you an example. So uh, recently there was this tool in news maybe a couple of months back, Malt Book. Now Malt Book is something that's specifically a social media platform for the AI agents. Now
Mhm.
AI agents go ahead
Oh
and
yes.
sign up there, and they kind of keep talking about it, that okay, fair enough, humans are this, humans are that, and all that. The society is going nowhere, whatever. I mean, they talk good things about it too. But the point is, this is considered to be a platform for AI agents to interact on their own social media platform. However, these are not completely autonomous. These are owned by some humans. These are heavily driven by the prompts that are given by humans. Of course, there's maybe 60 to 70% of autonomy that's available. Now the tools that are hyped, I would say it totally depends. It's very subjective to call a tool if it is hyped or not, because if a tool that I find it overhyped, the same tool might be found to be very good at the use case by you. So that's how it is. One thing I would definitely say, this autonomous agent, please don't fall for it, that it can just go ahead and
Mhm.
completely do it on its own. Specifically when it comes to taking decisions, all right, I'm not talking about
Right.
completing the repetitive tasks that it can do, definitely 100%. But don't just fall for it to make independent decisions on behalf of you. You are the ones who have to protect your brand. You are the ones who's responsible for your business. So please don't do it. The another one is, there are a couple of tools. For example, there's something yep.com. I'm not sure if yep.ai or yep.com, if people are
Hmm.
there's also an LLM, and this gives a free access to the pro versions of all the LLMs. But eventually, more than that, I would say that you go for a paid version or pro version of any of these Claude or Chat GPTs, instead of using that free pro version of Yep, because they are what they are trying to do is, they are definitely giving you free access to the pro versions and giving you all these options eventually for you to try different LLMs. And then they are collecting the feedbacks from you, and then they are going at and selling it to all these LLMs for them to make their models better. So that's what it is. So stick to the ones that you found useful. Please go for always the ones that you've seen people recommending, experts recommending, or AI. There's nobody can call themselves expert. I would say AI practitioners, because AI is changing almost every day, as what I would say. So that's how I
Every
would say.
every day. Every day they even have their own social media platform, as you've alluded to. So, you know, all
True.
right. We've covered a lot of great stuff here, man. Like you've given us priorities, you've given us some filters and tools, and you've given us honestly, you've already, shared some great stacks, which I'm assuming our audience can go back and extract after this podcast and lean into in their own side. Okay, but here's a question. This is all great stuff, but I only got 2 to 3 hours a week to test AI. Where do I start, and where do I see the fastest impact on my business?
That's actually very practical questions, I must say. So to this, I would say, don't spend time learning AI. I would say start using AI on one of the problems.
Mm,
That's where you can start it. Find a problem, understand which kind of AI tool can help me fix it, and then start working on it. Now I can possibly give you a 4 week plan in a nutshell. So let's say if we talk about week one, pick a repetitive task that's there. Week two, build prompts. uh, and prompt engineering, I would say prompt engineering is hyped a lot. uh, the only thing is that, for example, I mean, even before AI came into the world, if we were to hire somebody, we were expected and we are supposed to tell them that what exactly are you supposed to do. very specifically. Otherwise, it's about not setting the right expectations with the new hires, and then eventually they're getting confused that hey, you've hired me, but you don't know. I have no idea what exactly you want me to do. So point is, you have to be very specific what you want it to do. So week two, so week one, pick repetitive task, any of the repetitive task, and then week two, build prompts around it. Week three, test it with the team, do pilot, and week four, measure it, how it's working,
Mhm.
the ROI, the ROI on saving time, ROI on increased business, ROI on increased efficiency, whatever you can call it. So, for example, product description is something that you can go ahead and pick one. uh, Ad hooks are something that you can go ahead and do it.
Yep.
Email copies are the ones that you can go ahead and do it. So eventually that's what I would say, that depth is going to beat the breadth in AI adoption, is what that I believe in.
You mentioned prompt library, and we think of a library, you think it's kind of, quiet, maybe small, in this kind of context, but it does grow, right? It does compound, does replicate opportunities. So maybe what's a good prompt library that looks, something, that would be easy for a founder to use. It doesn't take, that, like you said, that engineering opportunity for prompts.
Yeah, yeah. So there's one easy one that's available. In fact, you can. So if you go to Chat GPT, go into GPTs, and then you search for prompt maker or prompt engineer, something like this. So there's a guy. I forgot his name. He's very good AI practitioner on very active on LinkedIn. I forgot his name, unfortunately. So he has built a prompt maker GPT that's available out there. You go ahead and explain it in very short versions of yours, and it will create a well detailed prompt for you to go ahead and fill in the blanks, and then feed it to the AI or LLM that you want to work with. So that can definitely help you make your prompts better, for sure.
No, I think it's great. That's a great tool. And again, prompts we can replicate and easily, build and keep as a running base as we go for sure. All right, so I think we're kind of coming down to the final stretch here, Shiv. We've put a lot out there. We've got some great time in today, but we do have one more question, and touched on it just a little bit, I think, earlier on, maybe on question 4 or 5. But if AI is cranking out creatives, copies, and ads for everyone, how does the D2C brand still stand out? How does it keep that real organic brand voice?
Yeah, yeah. I would say this that uh, that's actually an interesting question. So I'm thinking about it. AI is making content generation easier for sure, which makes strong brands more valuable because you brainstorm with the AI, with the existing brand analysis that you have, brand data that you have. It helps it make it more valuable. Now, one thing that I would say standing out in AI world uh, definitely can be done. uh, Founders' point of view matters more than what AI says. Please remember this.
Mm,
That's going to be always the case. Your point of view is definitely going to make or break your brand. So please be mindful of that. Do not just rely on AI. Uh, Real stories beat generated content. Please understand this. No matter how much people say that generated content can just beat real stories, because eventually buyers are humans, and they want to believe in real stories.
mhm,
It's a different thing wherein you have a real story, and then you go ahead and kind of polish it well with the help of AI. That can definitely be done. And AI, it is very important. If you want AI to work according to you or as per your plans, the way you think, AI should learn your voice. And now when I say your voice, means your thinking, and your brand's voice is going to be very important. Now, tools that you can always use, these are common tools. Chat GPT, a chat GPT that is well trained on your past content is going to be much more efficient than the fresh account that you're using. It doesn't have much context. The another one is Notion Doc. It can really help you generate and maintain your brand voice guide very well. And one thing that I would say, AI pulls everything to average. Your job is to stay very specific as per the vision that you have for your brand, is what I would say.
No, I think that's a great kind of like, ending point there. You know, at the end of the day, AI is a great voice amplifier, but the big but, it's not the voice replacer. Just like it's not the decision maker. You know, it's you as a founder, you as an operator, still have the final say in the decisions, and you then on the turn are still that final voice, right? And so I think that's the key on both sides of that is like, yes, you can create, and I do this myself. You mentioned ChatGPT, leveraging past historicals and having the brand built in and having that library per se to continue to kind of churn up that consistency. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna implement the final creative lens, and then put the push out to the audience. What if you're advising a brand that was just starting to use AI just for content, which is, some people, that's how they find their way into AI. What's the first thing they should do to protect their voice?
Uh, I would say number one, be 100% sure that your existing brand voice that you have created on your own, the way you have visioned your brand, remains intact. And when you feed it to any AI for it to make it better, please ensure that in the prompt you specify it to make sure the central idea and the vision that you have explained remains intact while the chat gpt or any of these llms are working on your brand guidelines. And they can definitely amplify the way you said, Jeremy. It can definitely make it much more captivating and easier for you and your team to understand, even if there's new team member that's available, and if they are working on your brands, they can AI can help you create documents around your brand voice and brand guidelines, much easier for them to understand, get started, plug and play from day one. So make sure that do not forget to ask all these AI tools that are available to not forget to make sure that your vision remains intact no matter what. And until you tell it to the AI, it is not going to work that way. Please
Mm-hmm.
remember this. So yeah, that's what I would say for that, Jeremy. I hope it helps. So one thing that I can add, one line, I'm so sorry to interrupt. It's like AI should sound like you. It should not sound like internet, like it's picking the data from the internet about your brand, right? That's what I want to say.
3 letters. POV, point of view. Do not lose
Absolutely.
that. Before we head out, I think about traditional marketing and kind of where in advertising and where it kind of took the turn, and the influencers came in play and disrupted the whole game as social media platforms grew. And now we're agitating all that tradition, kind of agitating that cycle of how things were going in the social media and the meta and all the ads world. And now we're leveraging and leaning into AI assisted, AI generated content. But go back to the 3 letter words. The ones that are winning still have that founder, that brand PO boy.
Very well said. Very well said, Jeremy.
All right, so we're just about out of time, but just like any game show, what do you do at the end? There's always a little bit of rapid fire, a little bit of quick moving, and so that's what we're going to do here to take us out today. So if you don't mind, I'm going to give you a one-liner, Shiv, and we're just going to go with it. You good with that?
All set. Let's go for it.
All right, let's go. All right, one AI skill every founder should personally learn this year.
Uh, Very clear and a specific way of prompting. That's what I would say.
Prompting. Build that prompting library. All right. Yeah. What's one function in the company that shouldn't be AI first driven yet?
I think that's going to be about the way you want your customer to experience your brand.
All right. Most underrated use of AI for e-commerce.
Uh, Internal knowledge search is something that's what I can say.
Okay. What's the biggest mistake people or founders are making right now that you're seeing?
It's a very common one. It's about buying tools before having your basic workflows in place.
Dude, that's crazy, but it's real. People are like you said, let's see an ROI, a little bit of an ROI roadmap before we go out and dole out all the cash, right? All right. All right. What's one book, podcast, or even a person out there who's you'd recommend for a founder getting to know a little bit more about AI? Who's somebody you'd recommend, or an article, a person, or a podcast that could maybe people could lean into?
Oh, I think there are a couple of them. I generally so there's Tim Ferriss who's there, and then there's DOAC that's there, and then there is there's couple of AI dedicated podcast in e-commerce. I would love to share it. I don't remember the names for now, but for sure, your audience can reach out to you, and we can definitely share it with them for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We'll make note of that. And then finish this sentence. The D2C brands who's going to win the next 18 months, a year and a half from now, will be the ones to do what?
Uh, that's very interesting, man. So I would say consider AI as a teammate, not just a tool. Uh, when you want your business to grow, now that may sound contradictory because I said that it is one of the tools, but understand that AI is changing. The way you said, Jeremy, AI is evolving every second, every day. So you got to have AI on your side for it to work the way you want it to work. And then there you go. Your brand is definitely going to be benefited a lot about it.
I really like how you position AI as part of your team. It's not it's not the end all, but it's a part of your team. And I think this is exactly kind of how the podcast is really shaped up today. You know, teammates, team members, people who can come as an form of an AI, and you can implement it into your playbook that you can continue to win with, right? I think that's the key here is leveraging it as a teammate, a team member, but not a full-on replacement to you and what you're already done from your brand.
Absolutely. One thing that I can just add is AI will help us at speed plus scale, but business still is going to need judgment and the taste that is going to be given by humans.
No, you can't. Who can argue with that, right? So, so quick wrap for everyone listening. This is our very first episode of the VirVentures podcast. If you got one usable idea out of this, do us two favors, please. First, share this with somebody. Share this. Hey, I already said where we're all connected talking about AI, LinkedIn, Reddit, blah, blah, blah. Even people were talking about it while they're playing their game on Xbox. Share it with somebody. Second off, do us a favor and give us some feedback. Drop your next question, or if you have some comments in the actual comments below. This is the series. We're going to keep bringing you the operators who actually ship. We're going to keep answering the questions that you're actually asking. We're trying to get actual content and actual responses back to you, the actual operators. That is our goal here. So if you're a DTC brand thinking seriously about how to scale across marketplaces, Amazon, Walmart, the full ecosystem, and you want a growth partner that's tech driven and operator led, VirVentures is exactly that. You'll find the link in the description to have a conversation with the team. All right, Shiv, we made it to the end on our first VirVentures podcast. Any final word before we take off?
Uh, I would say don't be scared of it. Just dive in. You'll see.
Dive in. Dive in, just like we dove into this first podcast. That's a perfect close, man. I'm Jeremy Lucas. This was Shivendra Pratap Singh. This was the VirVentures podcast, episode 1, AI and Commerce. We'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned and take care.
Thank you very much. Take care, guys.
That wraps up this exchange. And if there is one thing clear from this conversation, it is this. E-commerce is changing fast, and the brands asking better questions today will be the ones leading tomorrow. If this conversation gave you value, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you do not miss the next exchange. Got more questions on AI in e-commerce? Drop them in the comments and we will try to answer them in an upcoming episode. And if you are an industry expert with insights worth sharing, we would love to feature you on Ecommerce Exchange by VirVentures. Reach out to us. Until next time, stay ahead, stay informed, and keep building smarter.